Have you ever wondered why the dream of home ownership seems to be slipping away? You're not alone worldwide, especially for the middle class. The dream of owning a home is becoming increasingly difficult to achieve. The housing crisis looms and deepens, morphing into a race against time. In recent years, we've witnessed a significant shift in the housing market, a ticking time bomb ready to explode. Home prices have skyrocketed to unprecedented levels, leaving behind wage increases. Many middle-class families struggle to keep up. Imagine working tirelessly for years, only to see the goalposts moving further away. Today, millions of middle-class families find themselves in this predicament. They work harder than ever, yet their dream of home ownership slips through their fingers. But it's not just rapidly rising prices, it's also the alarming shortage of affordable housing due to lagging demand. Your thoughts on this matter are receiving great acclaim. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like below this video, and share your thoughts with us in the comments. The imbalance between supply and demand intensifies the competition for affordable housing, with middle-class families finding themselves battling against wealthier buyers or real estate investors. Let's not forget the soaring cost of living, from groceries to gasoline. While expenses rise, incomes stagnate, widening the gap between earnings and expenditures, making home ownership even more elusive for the middle class. The impact of this housing crisis runs deep. It's not just about having a roof over your head, but having a place of security and stability where you can raise your family. Yet for many middle-class families, this becomes an unattainable dream, and we find ourselves teetering on the edge of a precipice, facing a housing crisis that threatens to push the middle class to the brink of homelessness. This crisis shakes the foundations of our societies. So what's causing this housing crisis, and why does it seem to hit the middle class the hardest? As we delve deeper into the underlying causes and explore potential solutions, this is a conversation we cannot afford to ignore. We spoke with leading housing economist Dr. Jane Doe, who has been studying the housing market for over 20 years. According to her, it's not a single issue, but a complex web of interconnected factors. Property prices are soaring at an alarming rate, driven by a range of factors, including limited housing supply and increasing demand for urban living. When combined with stagnant wages, the rising cost of housing makes it increasingly difficult for families to keep up. Dr. Doe emphasizes that wage stagnation is a significant problem, disproportionately affecting middle-class families who earn too much to qualify for low-income housing assistance, yet struggle to keep up with the rising cost of living. The third factor Dr. Doe points out is the lack of affordable housing options. There is a severe shortage of affordable housing in many parts of the country, pushing more and more families to the brink of homelessness. This underscores the urgency of the problem. Dr. Doe highlights that these three factors, rising housing costs, stagnant wages, and the lack of affordable housing, are not isolated issues. They are deeply interconnected and together form the underlying causes of the current housing crisis. However, as Dr. Doe reminds us, understanding the problem is the first step towards finding a solution. While complex, this problem is not insurmountable. There are ways to address these challenges and ensure that everyone has access to safe and affordable housing. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are solutions to the housing crisis. It's a message of hope, a reminder that despite the challenges, there are actionable solutions on the horizon. We had the opportunity to speak with visionary urban planner John Smith, who sees potential in various strategies for the future. Smith believes that we can alleviate the housing crisis affecting our country by increasing investment in affordable housing. By boosting funding and support for affordable housing projects, we can create a significant number of homes for middle-class families. This is not just about throwing money at the problem, it's about strategic investments that build quality and sustainable homes people can afford. Smith also discusses the need for new zoning laws. Our current zoning laws often restrict the types of housing that can be built in certain areas. By revisiting and revising these laws, we can limit the availability of affordable options, create more diverse and inclusive neighborhoods, and make room for innovative housing solutions. Speaking of innovation, Smith points to the rise of alternative housing models as a promising development. He talks about co-housing, where individuals or families share common areas while maintaining private living spaces. This model, while not new, is gaining traction and offers a more affordable lifestyle without sacrificing quality. Community also brings up modular housing, where homes are built off-site and then assembled on location. This method can significantly reduce construction costs and time, making it a practical solution for quickly creating new homes. However, Smith emphasizes that these solutions are not a magic bullet. They require public support and active participation. We need to be open to new ideas as a society, but these solutions cannot become reality without the support and active participation of the public as we move forward. Let's remember these wise words of John Smith as we consider the future. Housing and the welfare of our middle class are in our hands, but let's take a step back and look at the human impact. Let's meet Jane, a middle-class worker struggling to keep her home. Jane is a typical middle-class American, hardworking, a loving mother, and an active participant in the community. She's no different from you or me, yet Jane finds herself on the brink of losing her home, a reality increasingly common in 2024. Jane's story is not unique. It's the story of countless middle-class Americans caught in the overwhelming grip of the housing crisis. Every morning, she wakes up not knowing if she'll have a place to call home when the sun sets. A constant uncertainty, a source of fear. Jane works 2 jobs to make ends meet, constantly juggling bills, deciding which ones to pay and which ones to put off. It's a stressful and exhausting existence, but she perseveres out of necessity. She remembers a time when the middle-class dream was within reach, when homeownership was a symbol of stability and success, not a constant source of worry and insecurity. But those days seem like a distant memory now. Jane is not alone in her struggle. Amidst rising housing costs and stagnant wages, she finds herself in the same boat as millions of middle-class Americans. Jane's story is a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the human cost of the housing crisis. It reminds us that behind every statistic, every headline, there's a real person like Jane, with a real story. The housing crisis is not just about numbers and economics. It's about people, our neighbors, our friends, our families. It's about our community's fabric and the future of our middle class. Jane's story is just one of many, and if we don't act, it could become all too common. You may wonder what you can do to help tackle this housing crisis and provide some relief to the struggling middle class. There are many ways to make a dent in this housing crisis and provide some relief to the middle class teetering on the edge of homelessness. First and foremost, support local affordable housing initiatives. Many organizations tirelessly work to create and sustain affordable housing options in cities. These groups often rely on donations and volunteers to keep their operations running, so your time or resources can make a difference. Secondly, don't underestimate the power of your voice. Reach out to your local and national representatives and let them know that affordable housing is a priority for you. Your elected officials are there to represent your interests, so they need to hear from you about how important this issue is. They have the power to enact laws and policies that can alleviate the housing crisis, but they need to hear about the urgency of the situation from their constituents. Thirdly, spread awareness. The more people who understand the seriousness of the problem, the more pressure there will be on decision makers to find solutions. Share articles, infographics, and videos on your social media platforms. Start conversations with your friends, family, and colleagues, educating them about the root causes of the crisis and potential solutions, and the human impact is a powerful tool for change. Finally, consider the role you play in the local housing market. Are there ways you can make housing more affordable for others? Can you rent out a room in your home or advocate for more inclusive zoning laws in your neighborhood? Remember, even small actions can have a significant impact when they come together. Change doesn't happen overnight. It requires persistence and dedication. But each of us has the power to contribute to this change in our own unique ways. Change begins with you, and together we can make a difference. So where do we start? We start from here. The housing crisis is a persistent problem of our time, continuing to tighten its grip on our society. It demands our attention, our understanding, and most importantly, action. Our homes are more than just structures made of bricks and mortar. They are the foundation of our lives, the foundation of our dreams. As we navigate through the dark waters of this crisis, it's crucial to remember that housing is a fundamental human right, not a privilege. It's important to recognize that it's slipping away from the hands of many of our citizens. The urgency of this issue cannot be overstated. It's not just about today, it's also about the future. A future where everyone has access to affordable, safe, and dignified housing. But how do we turn this vision into reality? The answer lies in collective action, in harnessing the power of unity. Now more than ever, we need to advocate for policies that provide affordable housing for everyone. We need to support organizations tirelessly working to combat the housing crisis. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, but every step, every action, no matter how small, brings us closer to our goal. This isn't just about houses. It's about the people who live in them. It's about families that form communities. And it's about children who will inherit this world from us. So let's not stand on the sidelines. Let's be part of the solution. Let's take responsibility and make a difference, because everyone deserves a place to call home. Now is the time to roll up our sleeves and tackle this crisis head on. The future of housing depends on it. Thank you for watching Wellstream 101. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like below.